This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to an Anthropologist Watches Sam at Every Size. Yay! This was very popular. More popular than I was expecting it to be. But I think that's because Sam is a good YouTube creator, and people enjoy her, and I enjoy her as well. So I'm going to keep doing these because I said I was going to. I wanted to get more into... Sam has like a pseudo 3-part series where they're talking about basically like the unraveling of the fat acceptance community, and this one is fat activists say you must stay fat to be part of their community. This one's from 3 weeks ago. I know I'm kind of jumping all around with Sam's videos right now because there's certain topics I kind of wanted to hit on first before I started doing like, and I probably won't do every video Sam does just because I don't necessarily have an opinion for every video Sam does. Some of them I'm just like, yeah, you're right. I know Sam's background is in history. I'm not entirely sure what they do for their day-to-day. It's irrelevant. I am a archaeologist, or sorry, I am an archaeologist. I am a anthropologist by training. I am a retired archaeologist, and I want to comment on fat activism and fat acceptance and the health at every size movement and the takeover of the body positive movement by fat acceptance. So this is a really good way for me to do that because not only do I get to have an intelligent conversation with somebody who is well informed in the topic, but I also get to add my little tidbits to it as well. And the concept of the fat acceptance movement sort of kind of unraveling is pretty fascinating to me because it was a very influential movement, especially in certain areas of the United States. I don't know how much, how strong it is outside of the US. I just know that here in the US, it's pretty prevalent. I know it's huge online and it's massive on TikTok, but the internet is not necessarily a reflection of the real world, though a lot of people treat it as if it is. It's oftentimes, it's barely even a snapshot a lot of times, but because it's so easy to be online, chronically online, it's easy to get swept up into the idea that what you're seeing and consuming when you're watching TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, those kind of things, it's very easy to start to believe that that is a genuine reflection of the real world. I guarantee you, if I went to downtown Philly, where we had the Fat Con, by the way, and walked up to random people, even random overweight people or obese people, and was like, hey, do you know what fat acceptance is? Or do you know what the health at every size movement is? I would be very willing to believe that like 75% of them have no idea what I'm talking about. Even on the college campuses around here, we have several. I feel like most people would not even know what the hell was going on. But I haven't put that to the test yet. I have been tempted though. I have been tempted. All right, so like I said, this is Sam at Every Size. Fat activists say you must stay fat to be part of their community, quotes. And like I said, this one was put out on February 19th. It's got 43K views. And yeah, I'm late to the party, but there you have it. So, and today is March the 14th, so that just tells you what the time gap is there. All right, I did speed Sam up, and I plan on watching this through all the way. It's 19 minutes long, so I think that's enough information for you guys at this point. You probably know more about this damn video than you wanted to. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. And let's jump in.
And the fat acceptance movement doesn't get to pretend that they are not part of this stigma that is building. Why is this so hard for them to grasp? Like, why can they not just admit to themselves and to us that that is the problem?
Sam gets angry about things. That's Sam being exasperated.
Hey everyone, welcome back
Hi.
to the channel. My name is Sam.
Hi, Sam.
If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I am so happy to have you here with me again this week.
Yay.
If you are new here and this is the first time you are seeing my face, welcome. I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense, so if you're into that type of thing,
I love Sam's hair, by the way.
or you like today's video, I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel and make sure that you never miss another upload from me. So if you've been here since the start of the year, you know the girls are fighting. And after 2 whole videos of talking through the ins and outs of this infighting within the fat community online,
I gotta find the other 2 videos she's talking about because I don't exactly remember which ones they are. But now that I know they're starting in January, we might go back to January.
I really thought we were through it all. And just when I think we're out, they pull us back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
And the video that pulled me back in was this rambling from Fierce Fat Femme, who now goes by Angelina.
Okay, so is it time for us to have a conversation yet about what's happening in the fat community? What do you think, Max? This is a yes. So we have, of course, seen a large uptick, pun intended, of fat creators now posting about their intentional weight loss and really like hyping up Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, and other mechanisms, and also just like, I guess, natural intentional weight loss. Here's the thing. The problem...
I know that Ozempic and Wegovy and all of that, I know that that's a huge problem for the fat acceptance and the health at every size groups because their argument tends to be, I can't do anything about my weight. Calories in, calories out doesn't work. It's genetics. There's nothing you can do. You can't control your weight. It's the same thing as your height. So the fact that people can take this medication now, because there's always been the joke of, yeah, but because they're always like, I'm happy being overweight. I'm happy being morbidly obese. And it's like, yeah, but if you could take a pill that would make you skinny tomorrow, you probably would take the pill. And they're always like, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Well, now we have Ozempic and now we have Wegovy and now we have, well, we've had Mounjaro and these other appetite suppressing drugs that are showing promising results when it comes to rapid weight loss in obese people. It's basically the little magic pill we've been talking about. And all of these fat people, all of these fat and obese people who are like, oh no, you can't do anything about it. They're all taking the little magical pill and it's magically making them thin. Granted, there's a whole lot more going on there, but the metaphor became reality. And now fat acceptance is losing its damn mind because it's like, oh no, all of our talking points have been proven wrong by one simple shot. Anyway. I'm way oversimplifying that, but that's the problem that they're having right now is there is a treatment for obesity now, which proves that obesity is not genetic. Anyway, what was I doing here? I was hitting play.
Is not the weight loss, although of course there can be lots of frustrating feelings regarding weight loss. The problem is when you are on an intentional weight loss journey and then you also intentionally shit on the fat community at the same time. So here's the thing. Number one, you can go on an intentional weight loss journey without then talking shit about the fat community, especially for those of you whose platforms were built by the plus size community. And those brand deals you got were also from partnerships with plus size companies and size expansions and other things of that sort. So you can do that without then calling the fat acceptance community and fat liberation a cult.
The other reason I wanted to do this one is because the cynical dude, you're playing my bingo card. The cynical dude just did a video today talking about the response video to this video.
It's also just not very original, this is number 2, to spew anti-fat bias in ways by like saying the fat acceptance community is a cult.
You don't, this is something the cynical dude pointed out. We won't be watching his video in this one. You don't need to have an original argument if the argument that you have is valid. You don't have to have an original argument. Because the other end of this is the fat acceptance has never addressed the argument of you're a cult. Do I think the fat acceptance is a cult? I don't think it is in the way that a lot of people think of a cult, but I think they do have very cult-like characteristics and traits. And I think if given enough time to get deeper roots, I think they might have turned into one. But the other problem is they're so short-lived. I hate being like that, but the major leaders in the in the fat acceptance communities have all either started losing weight for their health or they're no longer with us. So that's a potential roadblock when you're trying to build a robust cult.
Or saying that, like, you gotta watch your health, like all the things that fat phobia has taught us, like get an original argument at least is all I'm like hoping you'll do in the meantime. And the third piece here is that I have seen a lot of these fat creators who are on an intentional weight loss journey then kind of like saying like people are mad at me and people hate me because I'm losing weight. And it's like, let's not conflate the feelings here. So yes, there probably is a group of people who are upset at you and angry at you because you are now spewing the fat phobic diet rhetoric that they were trying to escape. But also, mostly people are upset with you that instead of just losing weight and doing that whole thing and not shitting on fat people, you chose to do both of those things.
So I clipped that down a bit just for our collective sanity, because despite telling those girlies who want to lose weight that they need to get new arguments and that they're not being original, she only said things that we've already heard over the last 2 months.
Yeah, but now I didn't get to fill in my bingo card.
Talk about being late to the party. But the one thing that really stuck out to me in Angelina's response here is if you really, really listen, you hear her saying that no one is mad at these creators for deciding to intentionally lose weight. She's saying that's a non-issue because bodily autonomy exists. But then...
And fat acceptance is one of my, well, I have several, but one of my issues, major issues with fat acceptance is they'll preach body autonomy. Like, as long as it's their right to stay fat, which no one's really challenging, as long as it's for them, body autonomy is important and needs to be protected and upheld. But once it's me who wants to lose weight because I want my body to not look the way it does, now body autonomy is not okay. My personal body autonomy is not okay because I'm going against the appearance, the physical traits that they want to exemplify. I'm a counter to that. Therefore, my body autonomy is not okay anymore. So in their world, they want to control how they want to control what people's bodies look like, which is actually one of the traits of a cult. Controlling appearance is actually one of the traits of a cult.
And she continues on, and her conclusion is that people are mad at these creators because they've chosen to intentionally lose weight.
Intentional weight loss is not on my bingo card, and I'm really mad about that.
Did you hear it? Because I promise it was there, amidst the jargony buzzword salad that was in the middle of all of it. That's exactly what happened. They're not mad about intentional weight loss, but they're mad at you because you're losing weight intentionally. It's almost like they fit together. And the reason I wanted to include Angelina's video here is that once she decided to chime in, it gave a couple other people the opportunity to also chime in, and they used her video as a jumping off point. And we are going to talk about one of those today.
On an intentional weight loss journey without then talking shit about the fat community.
I've been thinking a lot about whether I want to get involved in this conversation at all, because I think ultimately what someone chooses to do with their body is their choice.
Do you though? Is it?
Honestly, I kind of feel the same way about what someone chooses to post online. They can decide what they want to post.
It is so nice of you to give us permission to post what we want to online, as if you have any control over.
I will say that in the last year, I started running again. And I looked back on, my Instagram content specifically, and I would say I was posting about one reel a month minimum, talking about exercising. And I would say in my stories, at least once a week, I referenced that I was going to a workout class or workout clothing I was wearing or the workout I was going to. And the number of people that had issues with me as a fat person exercising, specifically from my fat community, was zero.
I'm willing to believe that this is an exaggeration because just going off of the comments section from Glitter and Lasers, aka Anna O'Brien, there are a lot of people that have problems with Anna specifically being a fat person exercising. Not legitimate things like your form is bad, you're gonna blow your knees out. Not that stuff. Like, there are people who just have a problem that Anna is a fat person exercising. So I'm pretty sure this person is either ignoring those comments, which is good, you should, because those are bullshit comments, or they're just conveniently not mentioning them. And I know for a fact the fat acceptance and the health at every size community does have problems with people exercising. Fat Sapphic Bro comes to mind, saying that working out and gyms are elitist because reasons.
Zero. No one cared. And so I think one of the pieces I wanted to kind of flag in this whole conversation is this idea that the fat community is like, you have to stay fat, you have to, not exercise, you have to do XYZ. It's like, I have not had that experience.
I mean, it's good that you haven't had that experience, but there's plenty of people who have posted about their experience of even unintentionally losing weight, getting them kicked out of community spaces that they were in specifically because they were fat acceptance and health at every size communities. And these people may have unintentionally lost weight and they were ostracized from those communities. Again, going back on Fat Sapphic Bro, who has been recorded saying any weight loss, intentional or otherwise, is fatphobic. So
I don't know what your experiences are, but I have not had that experience at all. And I have been very public about the exercise I'm doing. I am not pursuing weight loss. But if this is a conversation about the fat community doesn't want you to exercise, hasn't been my experience.
No. The conversation isn't about the fat acceptance community not wanting you to exercise. This is a straw argument that you have created in order to ignore the actual argument of the fat acceptance community doesn't want you to lose weight. That was the actual argument. The conversation that you started is completely not the thing we were talking about.
Now, this creator just wasted our collective time telling us that she started running again and posting about her exercise and that 0 fat people in her audience got mad at her. Great. Then she followed that statement up. We hear her saying, it's almost like the fat community isn't telling people that they have to stay fat. And then right after that, she said, but even though I'm running, I'm not intentionally losing weight. I'm still fat. Now,
because she needs to defend the fact that she's not intentionally losing weight. Which takes me back to Anna. Anna is a born-again runner, apparently. And her weight loss that she's not intentionally pursuing exactly is not as significant as people think it should be, given that she is also taking a weight loss drug. And I think one of the reasons for that is it has become very clear that not only does Anna overeat, big surprise, but the things she chooses to eat are not conducive towards weight loss. And I think the reason for that is actually very intentional, because I think Anna doesn't want to be perceived by the larger community that she's in, which is fat acceptance and health at every size. She doesn't want to be perceived by them as intentionally losing weight. And so I think she's, on the one hand, this is just how she eats and it contributes to the fact that she's obese. But I also think it's a little bit intentional as well to slow down her own weight loss because she doesn't want to be seen as losing significant amounts of weight in short periods of time, because that would be very obvious that she is trying to lose weight.
Stay with me. I know this is going to be a shocking revelation, but it's almost like no one was mad at her because she didn't lose weight. So the crux of the issue is the weight loss and only the weight loss. Why is this so hard for them to grasp? Like, why can they not just admit to themselves and to us that that is the problem? Is it because it would mean that some of the things that are being said about them are correct? Can't have that now, can we? Now, what I think that both of these creators missed in their messaging here is that the creators who've chosen to lose weight are doing this exact same thing. They're only really posting stories or reels or other social media content of them working out more, doing workout gear hauls, drinking more water.
Rosie Beam actually has gone on the offensive, and I think it's hilarious. It's not real in your face. It's very subtle. It's very tongue-in-cheek. I truly appreciate it. I have enjoyed following Rosie Beam, and if you are not following her, you probably should, because she's a hoot. Also, her fashion, I like her fashion sense. That's the kind of fashion I like. So if you don't like that kind of modern goth kind of look. She's not going to be the fashionista for you, but I like the stuff she picks out.
etc. The only difference, and apparently the fatal flaw, is that they have also decided that while they're making these changes, they're going to be transparent that they're also using a weight loss medication to aid them.
Anna.
In my humble opinion, I think it's better that creators are transparent, especially when weight loss is a known effect of that medication. I would
Exactly.
much rather that they be transparent so people know what's going on, rather than follow the route of creators like Anna over at Glitter and Lasers, who just continues to post weight loss side by sides, and kudos to her for losing weight, but she's not telling people she's using a medication and leading more than 8 million people to believe that her co-pilot workouts and her protein junk food snacks are the reason she's losing weight.
100%. Anna only admits, I have only seen Anna admit publicly twice that she's using a weight loss drug. And the second time, she didn't say it out loud exactly. She just said, yes, I'm taking medications for my health. Implying that, because she was directly addressing people asking if she was on a weight loss drug, to which she in some form said, yes, I'm taking medications for my health. So it was an admission, but it wasn't. And Anna continues to push that she's losing weight, or she continues to push the illusion that she is losing weight simply because she is exercising, which is not true.
It's misleading and it's potentially dangerous.
Yes.
Because what happens when her impressionable young audience decides they're just going to start working out and eating protein junk food snacks? Do you think they're going to have the results that she has?
No.
Would it have been better for them if she had been transparent and open and honest about how she actually lost weight?
Yes.
These people and their
And it would have made her a better influencer. Anna has a problem right now with her audience that she can't connect with them, especially on YouTube right now. And it's because she's gone through a couple flubs that she has not bounced back from. And it's really making her come off as kind of disingenuous. And so people are calling her out on it, me being one of them, Sam being another. And it's kind of wearing her down a little bit. I do kind of feel bad for Anna because it's very clear that she doesn't know how to handle negative criticism, or how to say sorry.
Their reaction are the reason that creators like Anna are choosing not to be transparent. Also, even though they're trying to play this like, I'm not going to name names game, I know that one of the creators that they're talking about is Rosie Beam. Because we've already covered that drama on the channel, I will try to remember to link the video down below in case you haven't seen it yet. But she is
That's Butt Wipe Gate, or the Butt Wipe Saga. I also have a video. Go watch it.
a creator that they do not mind dogpiling on. And this anti-fat bias that she's spewing, even though she is still a size 20 plus size woman, came after she started getting attacked by this community simply for being honest and transparent with her audience about what was going on with her. In relation to this drama and this story with Rosie Beam, I caught
Can I help you?
Angelina once again saying the quiet part out loud in her own comment section when someone said, "There are a lot of fat people who take weight loss, health consciousness personally though." Her response was, I have yet to see anyone get a bunch of hate comments from fat folks because they're working out. So it wasn't about Rosie or other creators.
And this is where this particular creator thinks she's being clever and she's not. People say, I'm getting hate from the fat acceptance community because I'm losing weight, to which she then says, I don't see anybody getting hate for working out. I didn't say I was getting hate for working out. I said I was getting hate for losing weight. You're having a different conversation, apparently. And they do this as if no one's noticing this. And people notice this. You're trying to change the conversation because you can't address the actual argument. The argument is fat acceptance community goes after people who intentionally lose weight. The fat acceptance community keeps trying to say, no, we don't go after people who are just working out. So you are going after people who are just losing weight then, because you haven't said you're not. Working out is not losing weight. Losing weight is the problem.
Posting workout content now. It was about the weight loss.
See?
It's almost as if they are actually saying that you have to stay fat to be part of their movement. And I don't know about you all, but it is truly fascinating to me to watch them say repeatedly that that is not the primary issue. And then they just continue
And
to show
immediately
us that
say
it
it is.
very much is the thing that they hate the most. Like, seriously, there should be studies about this. And it's even more.
I think there probably are. And I meant to do some research into that to see if there were. I don't know exactly how to word that one just yet, but I promise if I come across things, I will bring them up, because that's another kind of side project I've been wanting to do, is looking into the research into fat acceptance and health at every size as an anthropologist, because there is research on it. And I was blown away when I found that out. This movement's been around for enough amount of time, and it has had enough of an impact on society that anthropologists are studying it. Which is fine. Every social movement should be studied. So there you go.
Interesting to think about this when you start to realize that medications like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, etc., they have so many benefits, including weight loss. Yet it's assumed over and over again by these fat activists that weight loss is the only goal. There are so many videos of doctors breaking down the various studies.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Some of these headlines that she's put up. Did scientists accidentally invest in anti-addiction drug? People taking Ozempic for weight loss say they have also stopped drinking, smoking, shopping, and even nail biting. This one says medical news update. Flow trial ends early because of clear benefit of medication. Ozempic decreasing risk of chronic kidney disease in type 2 diabetic patients. This last one I don't think finished loading in. Nope, I lied.
There are so many videos of doctors breaking down the various studies of these medications.
People are reporting a decrease in impulsive behaviors that go far beyond food. This one's just talking about the kidney disease thing, which is kind of a big deal, yo. Semaglutide and cardiovascular outcomes in obesity without diabetes. That's just the people who wrote it. This says today the full results from the select cardiovascular trials were published.
And how they improve the quality of life for people dealing with chronic diseases such as kidney
And they're good. The select trial looked at the cardiovascular benefits of
disease,
semaglutide.
heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and more. As champions of the phrase,
I guess it was saying that Ozempic has a positive effect on
health just by looking at them. Why do they feel so comfortable and confident deciding that weight loss is the only reason that these influencers are taking the medication? It's almost like they're just looking at them and making a judgment call. I actually found another comment in Angelina's comment section where someone shared the reason that they started taking these medications. I am fat. Started therapy to address my ADHD and binge eating, my super hyper focus of my ADHD, with no intention of weight loss. But I am losing weight as a result of my mental health improving. Some of my friends are so angry at me because they don't believe that my journey isn't weight loss motivated. I just want to control my brain, which was hurting.
I really need to do a deeper dive into Ozempic and the Ozempic-like drugs, because there are so many fascinating co-effects. I won't even say side effects. I want to say co-effects. Like Sam's pointing out here, the improvement in impulses. And one of the first things that I started hearing a lot about is how the Ozempic or the Wegovy was calming the food noise people were having. I didn't even know food noise was a thing. But it's basically like an obsession. People are thinking about eating and about the next thing that they're going to eat while they are eating. Like it's almost like a food anxiety or a food obsession, and they call it food noise. And taking these drugs seems to quiet that for people so that they're not constantly thinking about food. And that's just one of the weird side effects, which I think is amazing. But if that's an impulse control thing, it makes sense that it's going to address other forms of addiction as well. This could be a major breakthrough. Don't get me wrong. There are side effects that are serious with all of these drugs, which is why you should not take them unless you're being observed by a doctor. I am not a doctor. Neither is Sam. But it's just kind of like, what else are these drugs going to end up being useful in treating? And this is a big deal. This is probably one of the bigger medical breakthroughs we've had in our lifetime, aside from, well, other things that I don't want to go into because I can't show you exactly what I want to talk about. But there's been some significant shit happen in our lifetimes, yo. And this is turning out not just as a weight loss thing, it's everything else is really exciting about these drugs.
And of course, Angelina didn't have a response to that because this is exactly what she and her cohort are doing to other fat creators. They are publicly flogging anyone who dares to change, and it's even worse for you if you decide to be transparent about how you're making changes. But here's where my head is really at. I saw these two clips, I saved them, and I knew that I wanted to talk about them. And then I saw this article on the Fat Logic subreddit, and it was titled, "The Moral Panic Over Ozempic Misses the Point." And what I want to
Moral panic over Ozempic misses the point. The media has made the drugs about body politics and our obsession with thinness. That's the wrong story.
And what I want to highlight from this article, what I'd been thinking about for a long time but couldn't quite put words to, is that in all the discourse that we're seeing, in all the content, in all the media surrounding these drugs, the thing that is happening at an alarming rate, in my opinion, is that the voices of people who live every day with serious chronic illness and who stand to gain the most from these medications are being drowned out. The article shares a
Huh. I feel like there's a word for that. It's something that the fat acceptance and the HAES movement is constantly throwing at other people who don't want to accept the fact that they're just naturally fat. Starts with an A. Ableism. Oh, that's the word I'm looking for. Huh. So the fat acceptance and HAES community is inherently ableist? Would not have guessed that.
story of a woman that they're calling Arlene. Arlene has diabetes.
I don't know if she goes through and reads this, but in my job, I regularly encounter the type of story that I wish we were telling about Ozempic. Recently, I met a woman I'll call Arlene. Arlene has bad diabetes and is at about 80 pounds overweight. Diabetes is a hard condition to manage. Injecting insulin causes weight gain. It does. So treating it often causes a person's obesity to worsen. Arlene lives in a shelter where she eats what the shelter serves her, which is basically SHIT, and she's in a wheelchair, which prevents her from exercising. We had a hard, tearful visit because a lot is wrong with her life and she's under significant stress. But one thing was going well. A few weeks before I met her, a specialist had started Arlene on Ozempic. In 4 weeks, Arlene had lost almost 10 pounds. Her blood sugar was already in much better control, and she thought her back pain had improved. Arlene uses the word miracle to describe the effects. The medication was the first thing in a long time to make her feel hopeful. That's a lot.
And is approximately 80 pounds overweight. Her insulin injections cause her weight gain. She
People like Arlene remain curiously absent from the Ozempic discourse, and they don't seem to be anyone's imagined.
lives in a shelter where she cannot control her food, and she is in a wheelchair, which prevents her from exercising. Arlene shared with her physician that because of these drugs, she had lost 10 pounds in a short period of time, her blood sugar was in much better control, and her back pain had improved. And it's fascinating, too, a conclusion that they draw in the article, despite all these drugs can do and their radical therapeutic potential for correcting interconnected diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes.
In stories written over the past 30 years, despite everything we know about Ozempic's radical therapeutic potential, we're still calling it a weight loss drug, which allows us to keep it in a zone of moral ambivalence and interpret it using familiar conventions. Yes. We're making Ozempic a moral stance. Ozempic and Ozempic-like drugs as a moral stance. which is causing people to be very blind to the other potential uses of Ozempic and other forms of treatment. And this is why I'm like, y'all, this drug and the similar drugs are a big deal. Yes, there are side effects, which is, again, why you should be under medical supervision while taking these. But there's a lot of really potentially good stuff here. So, fat acceptance and HAES can go F themselves. This is amazing. I'm very excited about it. Not for myself either. Like, I can't, I'm terrified of needles. There's no way in hell I could ever do this. But, like, I've got family members on this and they're having amazing results. Like, why wouldn't I be excited about that?
Kidney disease, and so on, they are still only being referred to as simply weight loss drugs. They also touch on how this discourse is really building up a stigma around these drugs that could be so beneficial to people. And the fat acceptance movement doesn't get to pretend that they are not part of this stigma that is building.
I would say they're the major driving force behind it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with seeking medical attention to help you lose weight. Nothing is wrong with it. There's no moral high ground for being someone who loses weight naturally. It doesn't matter. And if you're one of these people that thinks that there is, I really encourage you to go self-reflect some, because there really isn't any moral high ground there.
They have been on the internet openly just telling people how dangerous they are, even without credentials to do so.
Oh, fat acceptance and HAES getting on the internet and talking about stuff they're not credited to talk about. Huh. Who would have thought?
And shaming people for supposedly taking them away from the people who actually need them. But my question is, who gets to decide who needs them and who doesn't? Because again, you can't tell someone's health status just by looking at them. And I feel like as time goes on, these videos, this article, they've left me with a lot of questions. But the main two are, why do fat activists feel so confident discouraging honesty and transparency? And why are they okay villainizing medications and medical therapies that could help the communities that they often claim that they're standing up for?
Because it challenges the rhetoric that they have spent probably decades at this point building, that you can't help but being fat. They almost argue, and I think some of them actually do argue, that being fat, being obese, is actually the natural set point for your body. And therefore, being anything other than obese is bad. And the stuff that they say and the arguments that they make go against documented medical science to the point where it's ridiculous. But because we've never had a magical pill that just helps people just lose weight, takes away the food noise, takes away the impulse, takes away the need to constantly be consuming, because we didn't have that up until this point, it's hard to counter that. But now we can point to these Ozempic studies and these people who are doing very well taking these drugs. And we can say, yeah, but if all of that crap that you've been saying all these years is true, why is pretty much everyone who's taking these drugs responding in the same way? And it's exactly the way you said is impossible for us to respond. I'm not saying there aren't people that haven't had problems on these drugs. Okay? That would be ridiculous for me to say. However, it does appear that the majority of people taking these drugs are seeing some positive effects. And not all of them are prescribed these drugs for weight loss. Ozempic is a diabetes drug. That's why Wegovy apparently exists, is because Wegovy is actually being advertised for weight loss. Ozempic and metformin are for diabetes, which is a major killer. It's a major problem, at least here in the US.
It doesn't matter how many times they say that they stand for bodily autonomy, or when they say that they're standing up for folks who live with disabilities. when their actions, their behavior, and their content continues to prove otherwise.
How's our bingo card doing? Oh yeah, there was an I work out every day kind of a thing. This one's not working out so well. Oh well. I think I need to do like fat acceptance cringe videos to get this one running.
They are being so loud and so negative and creating a stigma for people who might actually need these drugs to improve their lives or to even help them just keep living. These people could now be afraid to take medication that could save their lives because if they do, they will be outcast. They will become a pariah in a community where they once found safety just because they dared to improve their own health outcomes and their own quality of life.
Crabs in a bucket. One person starts to do well and everyone else around them doesn't like it. And so the thing that they do is try to drag that person back down into the bucket, as opposed to lifting them up and helping them out and saying, wow, how did you do that? Can I do it too? The answer may not be yes, but at least you're not trying to destroy someone else just because you're jealous.
All right, that is all that I have for you all today.
All right. She wraps up. We're going to wrap up. Thank you to everybody who's been watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to track down the other 2 videos Sam mentions in the beginning of this video. And I'm going to go feed my cats because apparently they're starving to death. Anyway, if you have made it this far in the video, first off, I put the link to Sam's video in the description, so please be sure to go check out Sam's video and give it a thumbs up too. So give us both thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Also, go ahead and leave a cat in the comment section as your emoji because mine are annoying right now. Starving to death, you guys. To death. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole conversation around, well, the fat acceptance community trying to make the argument that they're not mad at you for losing weight. Also, let me know what you guys think about drugs like Ozempic. And I know there's like a classification for them and I can't ever remember what it is. But let me know what you guys think about that as well. And yeah, I mean, have you used it? Do you know anyone who's used it? Don't just speculate down in the comment section if you don't mind. It's just kind of weird and it's unhelpful in the conversation. But if you're excited about this, let me know. Let me know why. If you're using it, let me know what your experiences are. I know some people are going to have bad experiences with it because that's just the norm. But I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribes to my channel. You guys rock. Thank you to my members. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. And yeah, don't forget to leave a thumbs up before you go. And I will see everybody in the next one. Bye. This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.